the headlines that jumps at you. The number is 0907 353-0044. The other number is 0908-766-8888. And the WhatsApp portal number where you can send your voice notes, a voice message, as well as send your WhatsApp message to. And be sure that it will be read right here on this platform is 0909-705-4450. Right, let's get into it very quickly. And starting off with the Vanguard newspaper today. Well, the Vanguard newspaper has got this big story. This one says Nigeria must battle rising food insecurity as priority. Right? Nigeria must battle rising food insecurity as priority. So and that's coming from the IMF. You'd find that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. It's got a couple of writers to it, and this one says capping fuel prices, low electricity tariffs could cost Nigeria 3% of GDP. Another writer says calls for cash transfer program implementation. A third writer to that one, we must go into production to escape hardship, and that's coming from the governors, right? And yet another writer to it, how Nigeria can stabilize forex, overcome economic woes, and that's coming from the former CBN personnel right there in the person of Moghalu. And this one says, I'm not desperate to be President. Peter Obi still as a writer to that story. And the last one right now says Nigeria's acceptance of grains from war-torn Ukraine, no sign of failure. And that's coming from the federal government of Nigeria. And still with the Vanguard newspaper, deadline on NIN account linkage, most banks yet to implement directive, right? And you find that story on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper. It's got two writers to it. One of such writers is has it for accounts without BVN registered seem affected. Second writer to that story, CBN should consider Nigerians in diaspora, and that's coming from the Consumer Group right there. You want to find out more about all of that, bottled up in that very headline, get on to the Vanguard newspaper and get a read on it. And this one says Army not planning to truncate Nigeria's democracy. Taoreed Lagbaja has got that one to say, and page 9 heralds that story. And this one right here as well with the Vanguard newspaper. It says 4 billion naira COVID-19 grant, operators not indebted to federal government, others United Airlines CEO replies reps. Okay, so 4 billion naira COVID-19 grant, operators not indebted to federal government, others United Airlines CEO replies reps. And you'd find that story on page 9. It's quite an interesting story because at some point the House of Reps members had summoned this particular airline saying that, hey, come, y'all need to give accounts, y'all need to be transparent about the COVID-19 grant funds that to the tune of 4 billion naira. And United Airlines CEO has come to reply to Rep saying that, look, this money was a grant, so we don't have any jurisdiction, or you don't have any jurisdiction to asking us to give accounts. I mean, it was a grant. So how we use the grant, how the grant goes, which of course we put into the use, what it's supposed to be, and all of that. It's not in your place. I mean, but anyways, we still see this one right here. It says Meta reacts through Twitter as Facebook, Instagram crash. All right, page 2 has got that story. And for some of y'all who have been operating these social media platforms, talking about Facebook, Instagram, as well as WhatsApp right there, you may have experienced a downtime. Yeah, that is it. So I'm looking at this one. And this one, Lagos LGAs, Lagos local government areas. Page 4 has got this one, huge allocations, little development. Lagos LGAs, huge allocations, little development. And we see this one, a Papa gridlock returns. Trucks ignore Sanwo-Olu's directive. Page 7 of the Vanguard has got that story. On Edo Guba, PDP moves to reconcile aggrieved members, hold SWC meeting. Page 29 has got that story. Nigerians shouldn't be hungry, insecure. Sharia Council tells federal government. All right, page 8 has got that story. The Sharia Council is telling the federal government that Nigerians should not be hungry, insecure. All right, this one here. Okay, that would be all with the Vanguard newspaper for today, but let's jump into yet another daily, and that would be the Guardian newspaper. All right, so the Guardian newspaper has got this one. It says consumers switch to used gadgets as FX crisis worsens tech adoption. Right, Nigeria switch to used gadgets as FX crisis worsens tech adoption. It's got a rider to it. No country provides equal opportunities for women, World Bank asserts. You'd find that one on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Still with the Guardian newspaper, this one on WADA says fresh doping hurdles for Team Nigeria ahead of Olympics. Right? Fresh doping hurdles for Team Nigeria ahead of Olympics. News page 4 has got that one. Now let's get on to with this one now. Reps uncover fraud in seaport concession, summon ministers. Reps uncover fraud in seaport concession, summon ministers. Page 20 has got that story. Beg your pardon, page 28 has got that story, right? And now this one right here says alleged dollar bribe. Court stops Ganduje's probe. Alleged dollar bribe. Court stops Ganduje's probe. Is got, you find that story on page 5 of the Guardian. And away from that, more food laden trucks seized at borders as IMF seeks end to hardship. Let me take that one again so that hit sinks. More food laden trucks seized at borders as IMF seeks end to hardship. News page 6 has got that story. Keep in mind that this is the pages on Eagles 102.3 FM in case you're just tuning in for the first time. And yes, we give you a radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. And we are looking into the Guardian newspaper, bringing the headlines into your eardrum so that you might as well find anyone you find very interesting that tickles your fancy or catches your attention. You also might just add your voice in the most civic, responsible and civil way right there. All right, we're still with the Guardian, and this one says federal government maintains UAE visa ban on Nigerians subsists. Federal government maintains UAE visa ban on Nigerians subsists. And news page 3 has got that story. And this one says insider collaboration responsible for over 70% of bank frauds, says EFCC. Insider collaboration responsible for over 70% of bank frauds, and that's coming from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Page 15 has got that story. And this one as well says Sharia Council urges federal government to end hunger insecurity. Sharia Council urges federal government to end hunger insecurity. Page 29 has got that story. And that would be all for the Guardian newspaper today. Now let's move away from the Guardian newspaper and bring yet another newspaper to your eardrums, and that would be the Nation newspaper. So with the Nation newspaper, this one is starting off with a congratulatory message. It says, congrats to Tinubu, the visionary. right? Congrats to Tinubu, the visionary, and Sanwo-Olu, the actualizer. Okay, that is something. It's got a rider to it. In 2025, Ondo will understudy Sanwo-Olu, and that is coming from someone. And who's that person? You want to find out with the Nation newspaper. Just above the Nation newspaper banner, we see this one. It says, our economy not in distress, says Tinubu. Our economy not in distress, says Tinubu. And it's got one rider to it. Reforms will take country out of challenges, right? Reforms will take country out of challenges. News page 3 has got that story. Still at the, overhead of the Nation newspaper, we see this one. It says 72,000 tractors needed to enhance food security. 72,000 tractors needed to enhance food security. News page 4 has got that story with the Nation newspaper, and this one has got a lot of mouths talking. Binance exits Nigeria over forex crisis. Binance exits Nigeria over forex crisis, and it's got one rider to it. House launches probe, right? And News page 7 has got that particular story right there. Okay, so we're still looking at the Nation newspaper, and it seems as though the Nation newspaper is saying that this is where we should call it a close for it. Now let's move away and get on to yet another daily, and this one is the Punch newspaper. So with the Punch newspaper, it has a big story, quite a big story right there. Food smuggling. Federal government intercepts 141 grain trucks. Drivers threaten strike over attacks. Okay, so on food smuggling, federal government intercepts 141 grain trucks. Drivers threaten strike over attacks. And it's got two riders to it. The first one, Customs sees 120 smuggled grain trucks. EFCC intercepts 21. Tinubu order sale of forfeited food. And the second rider to that big story on the front page of the Punch newspaper, truck owners threaten to stop transporting food over attacks. Say no insurance for looted foodstuff. All right, truck owners are threatening to stop transporting food over attacks, saying no insurance for looted foodstuff. All right, and let's get on to the base of the Punch newspaper as I bring them punchy into your eardrums. This one says 767 manufacturers shut down in 2023. 767 manufacturers shut down in 2023, and that's coming from MAN, and you'd find that story on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Quite something that calls for concern right there. If here we are talking about the fact that we are a country that only consumes and we do not produce, and the ones that we have that are manufacturers right there, numbering 767, shutting down, in 2023 and all of that. It just tells you how this probably has also had, some effect, on in 2024 as we experience in all of this. It could just be that this might also be one of it. But then let's get away from that and bring you this one at the base of the Punch newspaper. It's on a trial. It says suspected killer of Ekiti monarchs remanded. Trial. Suspected killer of Ekiti monarchs remanded. Page 44 of the Punch has got that story. Now this one says reps grill ministers over ports concessions Tuesday, right? Reps grill ministers over ports concessions Tuesday. News page 29 has got that story. We were at the base of the Punch newspaper, but let's take it just above the Punch newspaper banner right there to the very top. At the top, we'll see this one. It says Obasanjo unveils new book on leadership at 87th birthday. And page 45 has got that story. And on this one on Nigeria's electricity, it says Nigeria's electricity fuel subsidies may gulp 7 trillion naira, and that is coming from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. And that story you can find on page 30 of the Punch newspaper. And this is going to be the last that I'll be taking from the Punch newspaper. And it says Army Chief dismisses coup calls, demands good leadership. Army Chief dismisses coup calls, demands good leadership. As talking about the fact that the Army Chief right there, in the person of Tauri Dagbaja, has come out to saying that it should be regarded, the news or the fake news that's going on around, talking about the fact that there might be, or the army or the military is planning a coup to, take out the president right there and, take over the country, as with Mali, with Burkina Faso, with Niger and all of that. That no, the military is only committed to democracy, and that democracy has come to stay for the military, as he also enjoins, his colleagues to also do the needful, stand by the Constitution, and of course support and promote democratic rulings in the country. But then that is it with the Punch newspaper. And now let's take you to Daily Trust newspaper. So Daily Trust newspaper has decided to tilt it just a little bit, or tweak it just a little bit. The big story with the Daily Trust newspaper has it that terrorists abduct scores of female IDPs in Borno. Terrorists abduct scores of female IDPs in Borno. And this got a couple of writers, 3 precisely. The first, they left camp in search of firewood, community leader. And the second writer, only 4 of 117 returned so far. And the last writer to that big story has it, military Borno government mum. All right. Okay. So military Borno government has kept quiet and silent on this very one at the time of placing this one right there. But then let's get to the base of the Daily Trust newspaper. At the base of the Daily Trust newspaper, this one, federal government to Israel, stop war on Gaza. Federal government to Israel, stop war on Gaza. Right there. And we see this one too still at the base of the Daily Trust newspaper. It says, repent or leave Kano. Hisbah CG tells immoral persons. Repent or leave Kano. Hisbah CG tells immoral persons. Page 30 has got that story. And this one on the Nigerian economy, and coming from the president, it says Nigeria's economy not in distress. Tinubu, the president, is saying that Nigeria's economy is not in distress, and you can find that story on page 5 of the Daily Trust. Still at the base, Ghana's central bank suspends FX licenses of 2 Nigerian banks. Ghana's central bank suspends FX licenses or foreign exchange licenses of 2 Nigerian banks. And page 24 has got that story with the Daily Trust newspaper today, right? Okay, let's still bring this one to you from the Daily Trust newspaper. It says tribalism flawed elections, bane of quality leadership, right? Tribalism flawed elections, bane of quality leadership. And that's coming from the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, right there. And this one as well says mixed feelings as Binance exits Nigeria. This is really a story that you should look into, I tell you. I mean, Binance that also looks into matters that has to do with cryptocurrencies and all of that. And you should recall as well that many Nigerian youths, and not just Nigerian youths, many Nigerians are, into this from this very particular trade, and you just wonder how they are going to cope, and with regards to this story, and it's just a lot. I mean, but then let's look at this one right here on Daily Trust newspaper. Lassa fever kills 13 as measles brutally also hit Benue. Right? Lassa fever kills 13 as measles brutally also hit Benue. Right? You'd find that story on page 7 of the Daily Trust newspaper today. Right, away from the Daily Trust newspaper now, let's get on to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. So, big story with on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper: why Africa is poor despite 96.5 trillion US dollar natural wealth. Why Africa is poor despite 96.5 trillion US dollars natural wealth. And page 15 has got that story. This one is coming from the AFDB president in the person of Adesina, and it's got a couple of writers to it, and I'll just reel them into your eardrums. First writer explains how Nigeria, other African countries are being helped to overcome food insecurity. Second writer to receive an award today, and to join the likes of Shoyinka Mbeki, Afe Babalola on exclusive list. And the last writer says father started as poor farmer without education for first 14 years of life. All right, that is a story that you want to go look into with the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And this one here says Tinubu must not jettison restructuring, and that's coming from the Afenifere group, and page 21 has got that story. And let's bring this one to EFCC arrests 21 food-laden trucks bound for Chad, Cameroon. EFCC arrests 21 food-laden trucks bound for Chad, Cameroon. Page 25 has got that story. This is a big kudos to the EFCC right there. I mean, when a government agency is doing well, we should be able to, point it out and say, hey, you're doing really good. And then it makes you really wonder to think into yourself and saying, look at us in a state of food crisis, and some persons, if you like, maybe merchants, whoever they may be, are, getting food out to the likes of Chad and Cameroon. I mean, 21 is not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 20 with an additional 21 food-laden trucks bound for Chad and Cameroon. Well, page 25 has got that story. Let's take you to Osun State, where Osun judiciary workers suspend 3-month strike. Osun judiciary workers suspend 3-month strike. Page 30 has got that story. And this one, accepting grains from Ukraine doesn't translate to failure. Federal government replies, Obi. Accepting grains from Ukraine doesn't translate to failure. Federal government replies, Obi. Well, the federal government there saying that, look, that Nigeria has accepted, this hand of friendship and assistance from Ukraine. It doesn't mean that Nigeria is weak, or that Nigeria has lost its sense of sovereignty or its sense of pride. That this has happened in many instances where Egypt and other countries have also rendered support and or given help to certain other countries, and even in the tightest of situation and scenario. So Nigeria's case should not be an isolated case, as it is not indeed a failure state of things. Nigeria is not failing. No, we only accepted grains, and that is what it is, right? We could as well do that to some other countries as well. So nobody should see that as being, inimical to the growth of Nigeria as a country. But then let's look at this one right here. It says Nigeria must recruit selfless transformational leaders. And that's coming from a former head of state as well as a former President Obasanjo. And page 10 has got that story. And it's got just one writer to it, Jonathan Mahama Kuka Abiodun. Others honor him at 87. Right. On Ondo Guba, PDP may adopt zoning. Page 10 has got that story. It's got one writer to it. Stakeholders fall to reach agreement on consensus candidate 2020 laws taught us bitter lesson, right? Stakeholders fall to reach agreement on consensus candidate. And the second writer to that story, 2020 laws taught us bitter lesson. And that's coming from Makinde. Okay, so I'll just very quickly take us to, the very, height or the peak of, or the top of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, page. This one says Binance ends Nigeria services after government crackdown. Page 7 has got that story. And this one as well, power outage delays plenary at Senate. Okay, that one was something that I saw, and I'm sure a lot of y'all saw that too. Page 10 has got that story. Yes, where the plenary was supposed to hold, and then there was power outage. And somebody would say, oh yes, that's most likely the Nigerian factor. But who would have thought that such would have happened, during when plenary was supposed to, go down there? And then doesn't this just tell us that, look, this rain is falling everywhere, right? It doesn't just fall in your homes, it's falling in the National Assembly too as well. Power outage and all of that. But some are coming from another angle and saying, that it just might be another way to deceive. Okay, so I'll just look at this one here. It's going to be the last, and then of course we get to hear from you, whichever of the headlines jumps at you, and you might just add your voice to it. This one on page 21, Army has no desire to truncate democracy. Army has no desire to truncate democracy, and that is coming from the COAS, Chief of Army Staff, right there. Okay, so he has also gone out. We can't say this enough. He has said that all the information that you may have had or heard about the military takeover, toppling the government and everything, is all false, is fake, is misguided, is a misinformation, is a disinformation, and should not be taken seriously. And that's coming from Taurid Lagbaja right there. Okay, so let us know which of these headlines jump at you, and please, I'd like to sound this. Is very, very important. There is no point attacking any caller's view, right? There's no point. Just say your bit, say your piece, and make peace with it, right? And there's also no point attacking, anybody whatsoever. Whether people in high authority, whether the politicians, whether the president, or such words as this is not my president, and no, please, let's not even dabble into that, right? The reality is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, and he should be accorded that respect. That's what it is, okay? And every other person who is in a state, in holding an office, should also be accorded the respect, right? If you've got truth to speak to government, speak the truth, and please do not use words or sentences or expressions that might want to incite or overheat the polity, right? So I understand as well that emotions run high, sentiments run deeply, but then please, I beg your pardon, I beg you, I'm begging you, right? So that we don't have to cut you short where you're trying to make good meaning of a situation. It becomes, or it turns out wrongly because of your presentation. Okay, so let's look into that. Now, the number is 0907-353-0044. DR, the number is 0908-766-8888. The WhatsApp portal number, like I said earlier from the very start, you know, that you can send your voice note, a voice message, as well as your message to the WhatsApp portal number, reacting to whichever headline jumps at you, is 0909-705-4450. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, okay, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, please.
May God bless you, and I beg this is Dr. Prince Ike on the line. I'm just calling from Carino.
All right, Prince Ike, welcome aboard.
Well done. How is Prince?
He's doing well, very well.
I beg my profile greeting to each other of you there.
All right.
Give you people the assistance and charisma to carry on the wagon of journalism. God bless. Anyway, what I'm just trying to say is this. I'm not whooping Nigerians. We have to do something right so that we should not be high sense of mockery in the sight and the eyes of international community as a wearing nation, as a poor, living nation. After all, God overbless us, both human and natural resources. But you have to play with caution. One philosopher said that any man, a woman, who always be afraid of threat can never have any good thing being achieved. Why am I saying so? Receiving donation or parity from Ukraine is not good, but it's good, but we have to do something with ethical minimization so that Nigerian people should not be, feeling or be in a mood of retrogression.
Okay.
Why? Right. Yes. Why must he be what? Receiving that thing from Ukraine. Ukraine is not up to what one state out of the 30 states in Nigeria. Is it not Nigeria that normally pay the salaries of civil servants of some countries within the continent of this Africa? Is it not Nigeria that always pay the school fees of some students in some of countries? Why should we be celebrating injustice? No, please, we should do something because our children unborn are there waiting for us.
All right, Prince Ike, for want of time, so that we can get others to get, to speak into the matter. Well, keep the calls coming through. Let's have your thoughts, and as much as you can, be as precise as you can, so that we can have your, time for every other person to add your voice. Hello, good morning.
Oh, hello, good morning, my God.
Good morning to you.
A man of voice, please. How you doing now?
I'm fine, thank you.
How my peace now? What you happen for us?
Oh, he's fine, and he's doing well.
I beg you, may fight very well. Greet us for us. Tell us all the neighbors people that they greet them. My talents, my brother, my father, my family.
Right.
My name, my people bless me. I'm calling from Mexico.
Okay, go ahead.
My brother, when we first of all tackle the issue that we got down Nigeria now, I want to ask Nigeria, I want to ask NEPA, AEDC. What Abuja do for them now where they are using light to suffer us? The area where we do now, how many weeks now we not get light? What is happening? We get any problem where they cannot fix up for Nigeria? Now Nigeria, they are passing through challenge now, they are passing through heat, they are passing through hardship. What we do? Is the money that they no get to repair what is fair? I don't really understand. People they are suffering, please, we are begging. Who will take the charge of our food for Nigeria? Now they say that the refinery will be working. They will be refining to Abuja here. But now we never see everything just go down. What we do? Please, Abuja, what we do Nigeria? Please. May our president stand up. May he listen for us. The people when they another president, please, may they tell them, may listen for us. People they are suffering. Please. I know say he's trying. Please. The crocodile, they don't want to see road. Make they allow our place to see road. May do better thing for Nigeria. People they are suffer for life. You cook soup you don't spoil finish. You buy meat, you don't spoil. What do we do? We cannot even get life for Nigeria. Now when they do we get life. They don't take life like that as Nigeria. They are putting Nigeria into suffer. I want to call for back. Now yes, they say they make the use PS for police station. Make the first of all catch all this our back affairs because I don't get the PA. We are there keeping our money country. Please, so let them do the news, God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
All right, baby blessing right there. The power situation is indeed one that has, that different administration in Nigeria has been trying to tackle, trying to bring, headsway to. And if you recall that the president had said that states, or it's given license, allowed for states to be able to generate their own power. And yes, one of such example is, Abia State at the moment. And there are hopes that other states or state governors would also, leverage in this to creating or building their own power plant that would serve, their people, as well as where necessary and where available, reach out to any other states that is in need of power. Indeed, the resources that we have is enough for us to generate these powers, but then bottlenecks here and there have made or truncated that effort, and that's why the president has said that you can generate your power now. Yeah, and then just still to add to that. Isn't it amazing that just while the Senate were hoping to have plenary, there was power outage too as well. So if this has gotten to them, hopefully they should also understand how it feels, and probably do the needful to seeing that whether policies or laws are put in place to ensuring that the power situation in the country, finds a new breathing space. But then more calls coming through. Let's hear from you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is KGB.
All right, KGB, where are you calling from?
Yes, our president.
Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm in Abuja.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead, please.
Our president is telling you people that there's no skipping, so there's no hardship. There's no hardship. I say, what can he say now? Is it not only a blind man that one can describe, the lines, the design lines of the zebra and the zebra's body, so to say? There's a blind man that can describe, look at how it looks, look at how. So we all can see it now that there's no stress or so, or that the hardship is that nothing like that, and everything is rosy, everything is being fine.
KGB, just so that we can quote the president correctly, he says Nigeria's economy not in distress. That's how he put it.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't describe that to us now. We can see whether it is stress or not. What they do is in care, it's in comatose. Then that is there. Then the two of army staff, I think you could have kept that information within the army formation. You don't need to tell civilians what is happening. Or bloody civilians what is happening. If there's anything like that or nothing like that, I think they should have ironed it within themselves and not to tell us. You see, so that is there. Then you talk of this food, what I call it, this food they say they see 21, they should elaborate. Tell us how come the food. So it won't be a businessman that's just, doing his own business with his money. You go and embarrass the person, that say you are blocking the person's It has been happening before now. And why is it happening now? So you don't need to embarrass a businessman who is doing his own legitimate business. Any other, if you go and sell it for. So that is Nigeria. We have grown up. We have grown up that we can understand. We can read the handwriting on the wall. We can read. Take care.
All right, thank you, KGB, right there. Keep the calls coming through. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, please.
I was tonight with Moses.
Well, slept well, Moses. Welcome aboard. That's where you calling from?
From Senegal.
All right, Moses. Welcome aboard. Let's have your thoughts.
I think first of all, I want to comment on your good job, but I want to plead with you to give enough time for the caller because there are ideas to be shared with this platform.
Okay.
Because I see it's almost 30-something minutes, and when people have to call, you have only 5-6 persons that will only contribute for the day.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I encourage you that.
All right, noted.
More time.
Noted.
So I want to comment on one of your headlines that says that the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria says that that's about how many industries have closed that and go to
767 manufacturers shut down.
Yeah, okay. Look at it now. If the government cannot maintain the existing industry in this country, and you are talking about bringing investors to this country, what are we saying? Is it not a big challenge? It's a big challenge. Look at how many people you have pushed into the labor market because of the dysfunction of these factories. Look at the so-called textiles. Most of our textiles today have closed down. Look at the other industry, and the quota is not working. What are we saying? I think that government should push in more money. Look at our refineries; they are not working. You push people into labor market, and you are calling people from outside to come and invest. You invest on what? The existing factories can never be maintained, and the factors behind all these are power. Most of these industries that close down is power, no constant power. Okay, look at how will no electricity, it will affect the payment completely. To tell you that the system has closed completely. So the government should forget about the external investment to concentrate on what they have on the ground. Because a lot of people have been pushed into what? Into labor market. Look at our students that are coming out. What do you want them to come and do? So let them have a tip to fix this our industry. When I had this analysis this morning, I was shocked. I said, no wonder. That is why we are suffering. We are dependent. We depend on external and imports. We import materials. Even our own crude oil, we depend on import to bring import. While we have industries that are not yet been maintained. So I am advising the government that they should look into what we have in this country to put them in order than to look outside.
All right.
Because most other things that we consume in this country is imported. And that is why we cannot measure up with dollars. So if we have what we produce in this country and we export them, I think that it will be of a help to this nation. Okay. Thank you. God bless.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Moses, for your take on that one. And yes, as you air your views as well as react, I'd like for you to be very compact and go straight to the point so that we can allow for time for every other person to add their voice, on the matter. Hello. Good morning.
Thank you. Mr. Daniel.
Yes, please. Good morning. Passenger, yeah?
Sebastian from
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Army, please. Democracy is what everybody likes. But in Africa, I don't think we know what this democracy is all about. All what we know, it's all about packing the money. If you are in our shoes, this money for Nigerians to be safe, you as a general, you all know what is happening. A lot of looting has been. If military is intervened in the country or in Africa, please, we beg of you that you people should come in to address some insecurity in the country first before giving out the democracy again a trial. In African, we're not happy. In African, you can see the IMF has come up on board the same with a lot of money that they are injecting in Africa. Africa remains the poorest country. It's only in South Africa that you go, you see here, you can smile. But other Africans, what do you smile? Nothing, only pain. You can see the faces of Africans when we were watching Africa Nation a Cup. What do you see? See, you can see faces, nobody is smiling. And what make us to smile is that because of the game of the football that make us to smile. But what do you see? Please, I am still begging the army. I am still begging you people. We are in pain. Your people are in pain. Democracy is not fixed for us. The leader who elect in Nigeria or in Africa, they are not doing the right thing, putting the right thing in order. They are not putting it With Mr. Daniel, we are in pain.
All right,
I'm
Passenger.
telling you. Is it in the side of insecurity, or the side of you want to go to school, or the side of electricity, or the side of agriculture, or the side of what you want to even eat? I am begging you people, please.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Passenger, thank you for that one, though. Appreciate. Okay, well, we're still taking your calls, and this is the Pages on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Your radio experience that you can count on. The numbers are still open for your calling pleasure. Whichever headlines jumps at you and you want to add your voice on it, you could do so via 0907 353 0044 or 0908 766 8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Steven.
All right, welcome aboard. Let's have your thoughts.
Let me just make it briefly, sir.
Right.
Ukraine and Nigeria. When people are complaining that Ukraine are helping Nigeria. But in my own opinion, I didn't see anything wrong Ukraine to helping Nigeria. And even those who are complaining about it, if they are in position where the president is today, believe me, even they are the president, they will not say no. As Nigeria it is now, any country that is willing to help Nigeria, believe me, Nigeria is not going to say no. Nothing. And this is to show that maybe we have a good relationship between Nigeria and Ukraine.
Okay.
And why Ukraine is helping Nigeria. This is the questions. And we expect that if Ukraine said that we will help Nigeria, or if Nigeria seek help from Ukraine, we will say no. We cannot say no. Our own man, how Nigeria gets out of this hardship that we are passing through. So even not even Ukraine, any country that we can seek to help. Now Nigeria, if we talk about Nigeria is going to borrow, people will talk complain. I don't know why. This is the problem we have in our country. Anything we must complain, we talk against it. Let's assume today the president that is going to borrow money to do one thing or things in the country now. People must talk with negative comments to attack him. And another country is helping Nigeria. We are still using negative comments to attack. Do you expect that this country wants to help that Nigeria to say no, we don't need your help? I'm not sure it's going to be done like that. So as far as I'm concerned, well, nothing wrong. In my own opinion, and everybody has his own opinion. Right. In my own opinion, the way I'm seeing it, to me, it is nothing wrong for Ukraine to help Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, nothing wrong for Ukraine to assist Nigeria in a time, when things are really, really tough. The idea or the bottom line should be about ensuring that the country has some level of food security, and that should be all that there is to it. Even the federal government has come out to saying they don't see anything wrong. Doesn't make Nigeria a weak country. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning to you.
Elder is my name.
Elder, welcome aboard.
As soon as you're at your left, now today I get you.
Sorry?
I've been trying that every day.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you and bless all the callers.
All right.
You see, sailors say they can't carry food again because of attack. See, we security experts have won the government. Regulation started from this type of thing. They should be careful. They should watch them back. There's inflation in the country and then there's no way to stop it. What do you want people to do? Some people are calling them criminal. Yes, according to law, they are criminal, but physically they are not criminal because they are hungry. You want them to die? You see, now, Nigeria, they are going to get food from Ukraine. I don't have anything against it. But the simple thing when Nigeria is supposed to do, we have tell them. You see, herdsmen have chased people out. Kidnapper has chased farmer out. Doesn't mean that we don't have farmer in Nigeria. We have farmer in Nigeria. What you are going to do, form a special force to drive these people out of the forest. A special force, they are far inside forest. Nigeria police go attack them and come back and then they will reform themselves. After they are attacking again. A special force, Cameroon have a special force. That's why you don't hear insurgency or kidnapping in Cameroon. The same thing in Chad, the same thing in Niger. So Nigeria refused to form a special force. That's why we continue. Are we going to continue on this? If Ukraine bring food today and they're going to bring tomorrow, form a special force. They will deal with these people, a special force. They don't have barracks outside. Your barracks is inside forest. Lion and goat can never stay inside of one room. Form them. drive all this thing out, allow the farmer to go back to farm, and make something available to Nigeria. Nigeria, they are hard workers, farm workers. Go to Benue and say, people can't go to farm. Go to Nigeria, they can't go to farm. Sokoto and Jafara, they can't go to farm. They are collecting food from Ukraine. Go and solve the problem, solve a special force. Let them deal with these people at once. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
All
Thank
right.
you.
God bless
Thank
Nigeria. Elder Onaja right there saying the special force is what we need to form to get things rightly. But just to also let you in on the fact that, Nigeria must battle food insecurity as priority, and that is coming from the IMF, asking federal government to pay immediate attention to, the food insecurity in the country. And the IMF's position, also came, that is on a day where governors had said Nigeria must go into production if it must get the people out of the current, hardship that we face today, right? Taking this call now. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning to you.
Yes, my name is Vivi. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Apple this morning.
All right, so let's have your thoughts, GB.
Yes. Federal government impounded about more than almost 200 trucks trying to take food out of Nigeria. In the West African region, our farm produce, our food, grain, they are still the cheapest. And because of the value of Naira now, pepper is higher than Naira in value. So the farmers, all these middlemen, they prefer to go carry the food from the raw farmer in the villages, gather it and take it across the border, coming in the northwest, and go and sell because they believe that they can earn more money. And that's affecting us here. So it's good the government impound those trucks and share the food. By now, we should not take care of this country to conserve what we are eating. Secondly, the truck owners, those who are protesting that they are affecting their business, because those who are attacking trucks that are taking goods across the country, it's a bad thing and it should not be encouraged. I have many media journalists and people presenters justifying me that they are angry or hungry man and angry man. That is criminality. Also statement embolden these people. Somebody take his money or borrow money from bank and go to buy grains or buy the food and all these materials. Try to take another place to go and so to not pay for his family. You now go and relay the truck and start it and vandalize the truck and also cut away the goods. I mean that money goes up. It will be affected because he also is feeling the hardship in the land. So why should people to encourage the leaders on the radio, on television, say they are angry, they are hungry? No, this criminality should not be encouraged.
Okay.
Those who are not be prosecuted to get the adherence to those who they want to do this. The hardship you cannot make us to this offensive and encourage knowledge in society. So it's good as those people are protesting, because if these people are stop carrying goods across the country, that will create no hardship because the quality of this material is a part of the country. So it should not be encouraged at all. And business have been banned in Nigeria. That's a good thing. Our demand for dollar for importation cannot let Naira to go at all in the day. It shows that some people are manipulating it and speculator. And the first thing they see online forex transfer for foreign exchange. Now between the time they ban them now, another appreciated with about 500 Naira. About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was 2,000 Naira per $1. Not about 1,005. You can see the effect on it.
Okay.
In US that they take a course in many countries that are banned there. It should not be allowed to operate in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much right there. Appreciate your time with us. Well, I would have loved to go on, but maybe I can squeeze in this one, as Vicky Vic has already given me that eagle's eye and saying, UD, what's going on with you? Okay, Vicky Vic, don't be mad at me, but let's just take this one. This one says, good morning, Daniel. Okay, good morning to you. I'm listening to you from Kari Local Government, Nasarawa State. Many Nigerians are looking on army to take over because of frustration. You wait for Nigeria, you won't understand. INEC You wait for the judiciary, you'll get disappointed. The only body left is the army. Most Nigerian politicians as something else. Taking be Hundu right there. Well, even the army that Nigerians that you say Nigerians are looking at or turning to now as saying that no, Nigerians should focus on the leadership. That's what's the most important right there. Well, James from Suleja, I see your message. You're talking about the fact that tribalism has eaten deeply into the fabrics of the nation, and it is the reason why we refuse to analyze issues logically without sentiments. And the people are pointing out how, despite the grueling war Ukraine is battling, they're still able to farm feed themselves and even have enough to donate to Nigeria. That's supposed to show us that we are not getting it right, and an eye-opener on how far we have fallen. We are used to buying from them as a major grain exporting nation, and now we depend on their charity. Well, there's a lot you said, but we can't go any further with that. But I want to say big thank you to you, and I see you too, Sanctorium. Alamin from Aguarimpa Selassie to thank you. We'll be right back at 9 a.m. to discuss proper, and of course for now I'd be stepping aside so the Vicky V can do his thing. Stay tuned.